All right, a little bit of sand goes a long way. That little bit is probably all I'm going to need for this square. This is going to be the hardest you're going to work on cleaning. Is going to be the sanding. This is the hardest part of the whole job. The rest of it is easy. Prep, cleaning, applying the sealers. That's easy peasy. It's just moving the sand around, moving the sand around. A couple of techniques. One, broom it in first. Then go back and water pack it in after you got all the sand in the joint. Lightly blow it off, and then water pack it. By applying the water, it's going to make that sand get down deeper into the joints. And when you apply that final coat of clear, it's going to make it suck it in deeper, so it's going to give it more stabilization. Yeah, you always say these roll-ups when you take it off. One bag will probably cover 500 to 800 square feet, a 50-pound bag, 20, 30. I think the average cost on a bag of sand like that is probably under $5. So on a driveway 1,000 square feet, you got $10 into the sand. One last thing I want to go over on mixing. When you mix the A, always start with part A, which is 4 parts. 4 quarts, 4 gallons, whatever 4 parts are, those are. Then you add the 1 part, which could be 1 quart, 1 gallon, as long as it's always a 4-to-1 ratio. After you mix it for 2 to 3 minutes, then you add the water and then remix. Water's always added last. Also, when you do the color, 4 parts of A, add the color to the A. Then activate it with the 1 part of B. Then add the 5 parts of water. All right? This is going to be the gloss. Before we were using mid-gloss. Now I'm going to put a coat of gloss over top of the mid-gloss. Again, they're stackable. So if a customer wants color enhancement, remember, natural is not going to give you as much color enhancement as the wet, the actual gloss. So some guys will do the gloss first, then come back and put the natural to knock the gloss off and to get the best of those worlds. You got to have a little truck in the background. That way you're getting both of the best worlds. You're getting the full color enhancement, but you're knocking the sheen down. Okay, sorry about that, guys. A truck went by. What I'm saying is, when you use the gloss, it is the most forgiving out of all the different levels of clears. More forgiving than natural, more forgiving than the mid-gloss, because it color enhances 100%. So if you put that down first to get full color enhancement, but the customer doesn't want the gloss, then go back with mid-gloss or natural on your final coat to knock it down. That way you're getting the best of both worlds. 1, you're getting full color enhancement, and 2, you're getting the sheen that the customer desired. All right, Steve's going to go ahead and water pack that in. Blow that off. That's just great water. Okay, guys, one last thing before we seal. Obviously, today it's hot. It's probably, I'm saying it's got to be around 100 right now with the heat index, if not a little bit more. I'll be outside temperature 93, pushing 100. I can seal this right now, even though it's kind of damp. In the spring, fall, and winter, remember, the days are shorter. The sun's over there. We got full sun right now. So we're more forgiving this time of year than those other seasons. Thin pavers versus thick pavers. Understand what your surface you're cleaning and sealing. Look for the drain. Try to identify where the drains are. In Florida, we have screen enclosures. Sometimes the water can't jump over top of the track. So you have to create little weep holes. So again, these are little tricks that will help you in getting the job done properly the first time. Now, Steve's going to go grab some broadcast. Usually when you sand and seal, it's not going to become slippery. But at times when you're applying multiple layers, like we did 2 layers over there and another layer clear, some of the good quality pavers you have in the industry, then they can become a little slippery. So we suggest, if that's the case, you can take some of this 2030 and lightly broadcast it out, or we actually have a product called Broadcast that'll lock into the wet film as it dries.
Like California.
So very, very important when I go to seal that stamped concrete and that hand trowel concrete over there. Pavers are going to be more porous. They're going to want to suck the sealer in deeper. That is going to sit on top of the surface. So when it sits on top, you get more film. More film means more slipperiness. So non-skid, we have two brands. One you put in the sealer and one you broadcast on top. You cannot put it in the sealer when you spray though. It has to be the broadcast only at that point. The one you put in the sealer has to be rolled, and typically we do not roll any paver application whatsoever, because you tend to get roller marks, especially in a hot day, because you're getting the flash. Now this final coat, I'm going to probably go at around 250 square foot per gallon. I want to get enough sealer on there to do 2 things. 1, give me my gloss that the customer wants, and 2, lock that sand in. So I'm going to go probably around 225, 250 plus or minus. Now Steve's got a little product right there called Broadcast. So he's just going to toss it up with his fingers, little pinches, the 2 front fingers and the thumb. Toss it straight up and out. You don't want to overdo it, because what happens again with broadcast, guys think they're in the bottom of the 9th inning. They got to call in the relief pitcher, and he's wanting to throw curveballs all over. Again, if you got ponding or puddling, always go ahead and broom it or blow it.
If you guys are adding broadcast, guys, and you do have to broom it or blow it, I would suggest after knocking it down, like so, and then grab you just a little bit more broadcast, just in case you pushed any of it off the top of that paver. Just a little bit.
Now you got to see 2 things on this, guys. We use mid-gloss on these overlays. You're going to notice it's got a good amount of gloss, but on the pavers it's not quite as glossy. Again, pavers absorb, they suck it in. Overlays, decorative concrete, sits on top. So that gives me 3 things to tell you. Gloss on pavers is semi-gloss. Gloss on stamped concrete overlays is going to be gloss. Mid-gloss on pavers is going to be a satin. On overlays is going to be a semi-gloss. Natural on pavers is going to be flat, matte. But on overlays, it's going to give you a little bit of a low gloss, almost like a satin finish. So it depends on the surface and the substrate is how the gloss is going to come out. All right. You can see down here 3 colors on these. This one over here has got 2 colors. That one over there in the far corner has got all 3. A little bit of gray, a little bit of coral dust, and a little bit of that diluted tan. Reduced, I think that was at 25%. See, this area right here is already dry. The sand is already stabilized. See, it's already hard. So the idea is to be able to get that thing stained first, then sand and seal last. That way your sand is not colored. One last thing I would tell you, life and longevity. When you do coloration, restoration, color boost, usually on the minimum 3 years, but more likely up to 7 years, because the pigment goes into the paver, becomes part of it. So you get a lot of time on it. 7 years on stamped concrete is way better than a couple years on solvent-based solution acrylics that we've traditionally all been using on stamped concrete. So one product, very diversified, and very overall long-lasting, and gives you all kinds of opportunities to do different things. So again, thanks, appreciate it, and hope to see you guys soon.